Have you ever noticed that the least qualified people often hold the most power and command the highest respect? You work tirelessly, you wait your turn, and yet you find yourself constantly overlooked in favor of someone with a fraction of your talent. Society has fed you a highly effective fiction, the idea that if you simply keep your head down, do the right thing, and stay humble, the world will eventually recognize your value and reward your efforts. But human psychology operates on a much darker frequency. People do not naturally follow what is right, fair, or moral. They submit entirely to what is strong. Power and respect are never passively awarded through merit. They are actively engineered by those who understand how to weaponize psychological dominance. Look at this historical portrait. This is Niccolo Machiavelli, the Renaissance strategist who codified a brutal truth about how human beings operate. Perception creates reality. He observed that men judge more by the eye than by the hand. Everyone can see what you appear to be, but very few will ever get close enough to touch or test what you truly are. Today, we are going to break down the 3 historical pillars of perceived superiority, the specific psychological tools that allow anyone to force the world to defer to their unspoken authority. Greatness in history is never granted by permission. It is seized by those who know exactly how to manipulate the way they are perceived. The first pillar of this architecture is mental reality. True superiority must be constructed in your own mind long before it ever materializes in the physical world. This diagram illustrates the psychological mechanism of conviction. When a central figure projects absolute certainty and expands its influence, observers, represented by these smaller, hesitant shapes, unconsciously align with it. They treat the projection as truth, completely bypassing any need to check external credentials. You execute this by establishing a rigid mental boundary, actively deflecting the need for external validation. You must demonstrate zero hesitation and act with the quiet certainty of someone who already owns the throne. Think of the young Julius Caesar, captured by pirates in 75 BC. Despite being a prisoner with no army and no leverage, he demanded his captors double his ransom and commanded them to stay quiet when sleeping. He conquered his captors entirely through the weaponization of his own unshakable self-belief. True authority is generated purely by internal conviction. When you refuse to acknowledge the existence of doubt, it vanishes from the minds of everyone around you. The second pillar relies on calculated restraint. It is a massive error to confuse acting superior with being loud or arrogant. Arrogance screams insecurity. True superiority radiates a calm, dangerous silence. Granting people full access to your thoughts and emotions strips away your leverage. The moment they think they fully understand you, they stop respecting you. This visualization shows exactly how mystery functions as a tool of leverage. Notice the inverse relationship. As the volume of information you give away decreases, your perceived influence automatically increases. By maintaining physical and emotional distance, you breed unpredictability, which fuels fascination. When you speak rarely, your words carry weight. They land like calculated strikes, causing a disproportionate disruption to the conversation. This deliberate silence forces others to fill the void with their own projected insecurities. Queen Elizabeth I mastered this exact tactic. Operating under the motto, "I see and keep silent," she consistently withheld her true intentions from her advisors and enemies. By giving them nothing to grasp, she handed herself absolute control over the English court. Mystery is your ultimate armor. You hold the power as long as the people around you cannot fully comprehend your limits. This brings us to the third pillar, energy manipulation. Look at the posture captured in this marble statue of Machiavelli. Power is an invisible current, a physical force that shifts the atmosphere the moment a person of consequence enters the space. Most people walk into a room and immediately scan faces, looking for approval and trying to fit in. The Machiavellian mind refuses to adjust to the room. Instead, it forces the room to calibrate to its presence. The mechanics are precise. Maintain a straight spine, keep shoulders back, and breathe slowly. If the environment is chaotic, remain perfectly, unyieldingly still. When you look someone in the eye, you look deeply enough to establish dominance. Then you break contact deliberately, signaling that you have gathered all the information you need and they are no longer of interest. During the Yalta Conference, Joseph Stalin utilized these physical tactics against his allies. He spoke softly, moved deliberately, and let Churchill and Roosevelt expend their own energy trying to fill the dead air. Stalin won massive territorial concessions by mastering his physical center of gravity and letting the others wear themselves out. The center of gravity in any space always belongs to the person who refuses to match the frantic energy of the crowd. Mastering this architecture requires you to move from someone who chases external validation to someone who generates it entirely from within. History forgets the people who wait patiently for permission or anointment. The names we remember belong to those who engineered their own dominance and bent reality to their will. By adopting this mindset, you stop hoping for recognition and start creating an environment where respect is the only logical response from those around you. It is time to stop begging for recognition from a world that feeds on weakness and begin actively commanding the respect you require. Right now, I want you to strike down the apologetic version of yourself by making a psychological contract. Go down to the comments and type this exact phrase: I am inevitable. If this conversation awakened something inside you today, hit that subscribe button to join our community of untouchable minds. And do not let your momentum stop here. Click the video on your screen right now to continue your transformation. I will see you over there.